Hello, Minecraft community. This will be Gamer Scoot Dude here. Um, this is my first Minecraft video. Kind of excited, kind of nervous, going through all the motions. I've never made a Minecraft video before, mostly just because so much of everything has been done. At least I think it's there's basically tutorials on how to make almost everything. So I don't like to remake stuff. I don't see a point to it, so I haven't made one yet. But I figured out this pretty simple three-way switch today while I was building something, and thought I would share it with the world. There was another three-way switch I found on YouTube. It was not very helpful at all. I didn't think. It was extremely complicated and took way too much materials and way too much time to build. So this one is a lot simpler, so I thought I'd show you guys how to make it. As you can see, this would be the basic idea of a three-way switch. Got this torch wired up to it, so either switch will turn the torch on or off depending on what it already is at. And on top of this being friggin' awesome, because you can really apply this to anything. I mean, it doesn't have to just be a torch or a light or something like that. You can apply this to absolutely anything that requires power. But on top of it being, very versatile, it's also really simple. Yeah, I already built it over there. I'm going to build it somewhere else. It's also really simple, and it doesn't require a lot of materials. All it takes is your two levers, which count as your two switches, and a couple of repeaters, some redstone, one redstone torch for sure, and one sticky piston. Those are kind of key. So you got your two switches here, and again, you can connect this to anything. This could be anything sitting here whatsoever. Your two switches. One of these switches, you're going to, if you want to understand it really, which I'm just going to go off the assumption you guys understand redstone pretty well. I don't think you'd be trying to make a three-way switch if you didn't understand redstone fairly well and have something to hook it up to. So one of these switches is going to be your input. So this will be the input for the device. This will be the output, or the input for the power, and the output for the power. Alright, so you start off with the input here, and you need two inputs pretty much. So we got two inputs here. Input 1, input 2. But both of them being the exact same, either on or off, isn't helpful at all. So we really need to invert one of them so that one of them is on and one of them is off, and when you switch it, the other one's off, or the one is off and the second one is on. So this is why I say this is the input. Either this one's being the input or this one. So you're just switching between the two inputs by switching this. This will be the output, and I'll show you how to do that. You need a couple of repeaters right next to each other, just like this. Each one of these repeaters needs to be hooked up to the different outputs, or the inputs. I'm sorry, the different inputs. There's probably a simpler. Well, I don't know about simpler. There's probably a different way to do this where you don't need a second or a third repeater right here. But this seems to be the simplest because this is just so that these streams don't cross and burn out torches like that. Yeah. So, and I like to set this to 2. Even it's probably not even important, but I like to set this to 2 ticks just so that it compensates for there being a second repeater right there. It's turning dark. Alright, so as I was saying, it's the same thing. You're just switching the inputs. Now for this one, this is going to be the output, and this is where the sticky piston comes into play. If you guys understand redstone well enough, you know that solid blocks can be powered by redstone. So this piston will determine which. This block is basically the output, and this piston will determine which one of the inputs the output is stuck to. Okay, let's just hook this up here. And so if you switch this, you're switching which output you're switching which input the output is going to. Make sense? Now, since this block is the output, both of these can be connected to the same thing, which we'll just run over here, hook up to, guess I don't need, but I'm gonna stick a torch here. Hopefully you guys can still see this. I'm sorry, I didn't even consider the time of day. So when you switch this, it moves the block to the second output, which happens to be where the input is going to at that moment, which sends this signal over and hits it. You flip this switch, it flips the inputs, so the input is now not going to the output, and the light comes, or the torch goes back on. You switch the output again, it's once again connected to the input, and so the torch goes back off. Switch the input again, and you get the picture. It's pretty simple. Doesn't take a lot of materials. What would this be? 7 redstone torches, 2 levers, a sticky piston, and whatever redstone to wire it with. You can compact this a ton. I just like to spread it out so you can really easily see what's going on. It's really simple, I think. You guys can, or actually, I think I'll show you what I was working on at the time that I figured this out. Alright, here it is. This is what I was working on. Plain, simple little wall, huh? Think again. Right here. Switch, skadoosh. There is a door here. And this was the problem that I was having. I had a switch out here. I wanted it to open the door. I had a switch in here. I wanted it to shut the door. That was pretty simple. The complicated part was, what if I was in here already and I wanted to open the door, and then I wanted to come out here and shut the door. I couldn't figure it out. Well, okay, I lied. I could figure it out because I did. So down here is basically the entire mechanism that I figured out. Here's where my input, which is the lever outside, out the door, splits, and it splits here and hits this torch, which inverts the signal, making one of these on or off, right? You flip the switch out there, it makes the other one on, the other on off. You know what I mean? This here is the piston that hooks up to the switch inside that pushes the block back and forth to change the output, and that which then goes to the rest of the machine, to the rest of the door. There we go. And yeah, works as a door. It's pretty awesome because I actually made this. I hid this lever pretty well, or at least I think so. I kind of had to dig a hole here in the landscape, but I have a friend who also plays Minecraft on this world with me, and I've been trying for the longest time to make something that he can't find, and I'm not very good with decorations or making things look pretty, so that's why I like redstone, because it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. But he's very all about the pretty, and everything has to be, you know, and if something looks obscure, then you gotta change it. So I'm a little worried. I had to dig this hole for him, or I had to dig this hole to make it work, and I'm hoping he doesn't think the hole looks atrocious and come try and fill it in or anything. But I wanted to make this secret door that he didn't know about, and I think I did a pretty good job. I really would like something other than a lever. Like I saw a video of somebody that just like stuck a redstone torch on the wall and it made the door open, and I just couldn't figure out for the life of me how to make that work. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. But I think this is pretty good. Hides the lever pretty well, so you can't, you know, nobody's gonna come looking, or, you know, if they stumble upon it, they stumble upon it. But still, I think it's pretty well hidden, and you can just shut it. Nobody will ever find it. Wander back around, you know. Dig a tunnel like I did, make a pattern like I did. It's whatever you want to do, but it's pretty useful. I like it. But hope you guys liked my video.